So, bada bing, bada boom. Welcome to the Almost Awesome Podcast. This is episode number 18. We are live right now. Barely dressed, looking strong as hell. Today, of course, we have my co-host, my brother Matt. Looking good, looking great. And we have today, special guest, Kevin Favis. Kevin Favis, welcome finally. Welcome finally to the Almost Awesome Podcast. How are you doing today?
Thanks for having me, Conan. Pleasure to be here.
Go. So,
dang, does that mean I'm the fat guy on the couch?
he has a name, okay?
He's like barely
It's Andy.
hot.
Yeah.
Come on.
He's only there for laughs. Like, hey, this is
I
funny.
don't even know his name, and that's me.
So, I guess to start things off, for people who are just listening into the podcast, the theme of the night was chosen by Kevin Favis, and the theme was aprons. So, for those of you who aren't watching it, who can't see it, and you're just listening to it, you're missing out. You're missing out on a great show because we look nice. But on to my real question, Kevin, why did you choose aprons as a theme for tonight?
I like to cook, and I don't like to be messy. And aprons is appropriate for both of those answers. Part of the solution, Mark. Are you?
So do you actually cook without a shirt underneath the apron?
Oh, no. Because
Okay.
I've had my experience with bacon, and it's not a groovy time.
I was gonna ask because I've definitely cooked bacon, but with like no shirt, and I was like, this is a stupid idea.
Dude, you have a leather couch, don't you? You ever fall asleep on your couch
Oh,
shirtless?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's like peeling duct tape, man.
he is just pain.
Man, yeah. And plus, I knew we all had aprons, and I don't even watch Breaking Bad, but I own a Breaking Bad apron. I don't know. I don't really get this reference, but I'm not smuggling meth or anything.
Thank
I
goodness.
say meth, right?
I
Okay.
saw-
Thank goodness. Anyways.
I saw a girl on my Instagram dressed in Breaking Bad characters wearing that apron.
Oh,
I
shit.
thought she was with a guy, and I was like, wait, is that Kevin? And I was like, wait a second, no, this is someone else. What the heck?
Yo.
That's crazy.
Damn.
I love the apron look, though. And I love, truth be told, I usually cook with my apron. But sometimes when I eat something that I think is going to get messy, like chicken wings, I'll put the apron on and not eat it. And I'll just like wipe it on my apron.
Man-sized bib.
I'm all about the bib. I feel like the bib should make a comeback.
This is necessary. You go to King Cajun, any crawfish place, they give you bibs, they give you gloves. Yeah.
It's just smart
They
things,
look
man.
you up. Moist talouettes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Well, I feel like those are necessities, right? At like a crawfish place, like things are gonna get messy, and you do kind of want to, come out unscathed as best as you can.
This is true.
Damn.
So, Kevin, we do usually do one other question to start things off.
Ooh, okay,
before
okay.
our theme. It's usually around conversation because this is the whole podcast. Basically, the whole point of it is to have a conversation with our friends that's like fun, catching up, meaningful, all that good stuff.
Nice.
So my question for you this time around would be, what's in your opinion, or what's your favorite way to start a conversation?
To start a conversation?
Yeah.
Damn. I guess it would be like, shit, like my go-to, oh, damn. I need context though. Is it someone I just met? Is this a friend? Is it a girl? What is it?
Someone you just met.
Someone I just met? Yo, what up? But if it's like a white person, yo, how you doing, sir?
Nice.
But,
I like how
it
if it's
depends.
white, you're like yo. You still have the yo.
I lose in the
Yo, how are you doing, sir?
Yo, what
That's
up?
for me.
Pleasant weather we're having today.
I did the hand
Eh?
signal too. Howdy, partner. Man, I try to be welcoming. This is like me at the ice cream shop. I work at an ice cream shop. I'm an ice cream man.
I forgot. I was gonna introduce you as
Oh
the
shit! I'm not an ice cream man. I'm a
the Greenery Creamery Dreamery.
Right. Oh, damn! I love that. I love that title. Damn, that's
The Greenery Creamery Dreamery, Kevin
God.
Favis.
Put that on my resume now.
You don't need to, man. People approach you. We've gone out places with Kevin, and people like, and by people I mean mostly ladies approach him, and they're like, "Oh, you're the guy that works at Greenery Creamery, right?"
Yeah.
Oh my god, no way.
Yeah, it happens. It happens
Yo.
very frequently.
Yo,
I think, yo, what's up?
Hell
God.
yeah.
That fucking happened during Wine Walk. And it was not a girl, it was a guy. I just had fucking a sake mojito, rightly called a sakehito. And then the guy was like, yo, I recognize that hair anywhere. You're the ice cream guy.
I was gonna say, did he buy you a drink? But you were at Wine Walk.
I know, the drink was free. But I gave him, I was like, dude, you remember me? Damn. I gave him like a $5 scoop card, so.
Nice.
Dang.
Say hello.
Have you seen him back yet?
No.
Oh. Well, he could have came when it wasn't your shift.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Or he's hoarding them for a rainy day.
You never know, man. People have that craving for that delicious ice
Sorry,
cream.
Ellie.
So I
coupon purpose.
I want to go one. I have one follow-up question on conversations because this also ties to Greenery Creamery. I know you have a tradition thing like GC Boys Night, and I heard and I thought this was really cool. You do like a topic of conversation thing, and then you change locations. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because I thought the concept of that was so cool.
Definitely. All right. So GC Boys Night. The rules of Boys Night is definitely boys. If a girl's gonna come, then they have to be invited by a boy. But usually GC Boys. That's how it is. What you have to do is that we do a pub crawl, a bar crawl. We go to a bar each time, but we get one drink. But how we do the drink is someone's gonna buy, and we play a simple game, like either white or black, you know. And whoever's the odd one out would buy the round of drinks. But they don't have to buy it for the rest of the night until like a full circle has been completed. Mm-hmm. And then we have one topic of discussion per location. And then once we finish our drinks, like we gotta go. Like we ain't trying to have another topic of discussion. You know, we ain't trying to lag. Yeah, you gotta keep changing scenarios, changing scenery.
Nice.
Because I believe when you change location and scenery, you bond with people more than if you were to stay like 1 hour at one spot, then 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes in 3 different bars. It disorients them. Works with women too.
That's so
Don't
cool.
try to. It is. It's what you do, you know?
Did you wink there? Did you wink?
But I definitely can kind of agree with that. Like just like the change of location, the change of environment around you can definitely bring out different like highs or lows of like conversation or even just moods. Like one thing I remember was I was taught this in drama where when someone enters like a doorway, like you can see like their character change based on the environment they're going into. Like obviously for us it was like going into a classroom. You could see people, if you watch them, you could kind of see them just like mentally prepare like, okay, it's class time. You know, I was out here, we just came from lunch and then now it's class time. So it was definitely it was definitely a cool kind of thing. Just like coming to understand that the environment itself can just completely change the environment of a potential conversation.
So, how do you guys decide your topics? Do you just have like one person, whoever brings it up?
Is it whoever buys the round?
Right? I guess anyone could say the topic. Because, anyone can say the topic. Whatever's like
It's a free game.
something they need to get off the chest. Yeah, it's free game. Yeah.
That's cool. That's so cool.
Damn. I tell you, it always ends up with tequila. Tequila's just always a thing. It's like,
Like in the middle somewhere?
no, it's always shots of tequila.
In the
Like,
beginning.
I wish it was beer. I could drink
Beginning,
anything,
middle,
but
and end.
ends with tequila. You know, good time. Yeah.
Oh man.
We should do it one day. It's good.
I love tequila. We should do, dang, that'd be so cool. That would be really cool. But then we have to keep oh man, yeah, that would be really fun.
So
But-
do you move locations? Like do you move locations based on once everyone's done with their drinks, or is it kind of like do you allow for like if a conversation's kind of getting juicy, do you like allow that to finish up, or are you like, hey guys, we're moving to the next bar?
Yes,
Like,
that can go into overtime. Yeah, it can definitely go into overtime. But I would have planned out the trek already ahead of time, like which bars we haven't hit up, and usually it's a theme. Like one time we did all Irish pubs. One time we just did like outdoor bars. That was pretty cool. That's in Winter Park.
That's cool.
Lets you see more of the world and sees potential like date spots for other people and stuff.
That's true.
That's a good move. That's a really good move. I'm gonna steal that.
You heard it here.
Please. I didn't patent it, so maybe I can't sue.
Speaking of things you should patent, Kevin, I was recently invited to one of your infamous or famous murder mystery parties.
Oh man,
I say very famous.
This is your third one, right?
yes. With you guys, yes. It's my third
Wait.
one. And, yeah.
Just to start, can you share your timeline of murder mysteries? Not just ours, just in your lifetime.
In my lifetime?
Yeah.
Damn. Like the ones I've been in or ones I've created?
I guess both.
Oh, okay, both. Okay.
Unless it's like a million.
Damn. No. This is like 4, I guess. Yeah, no, I started with one in high school, and it was this girl's birthday party, and I was a character, and I was so excited to be this. I was into the role, and then I found out, because she got this murder mystery from a box, and then she had more people coming than the characters in the box. So me and a friend was also the same fucking character. I can say fuck, right?
Yeah.
Am I gonna get bleeped? Like, there's no like, you know.
No,
like,
there's no
like, censorship right here. Okay.
There's no censorship, which is why if things get a little too wild, we could get in. But language stuff, we're fine.
Okay, good. Yeah. So that happened. And it's like, damn, we're both the same character? That's lame. I don't know. And then they just presented clues, and it's like, all right, that's fine. But then I wanted to do a murder mystery. I'm like, man, you know what? I don't want to fucking pay for a box. I can make my own. So I did that. And that's basically what I did. I brought all my friends. They all had their own roles. And it was all like high school. It was a high school themed murder mystery. And these are all theater kids too. So they are all getting into it. I played the detective. Yeah. I spread out the clues and just, you know, I was like exhibit A through D, E, F, like down the letters. You figure it out through there. That was fun. But then for ours, I embellished, you know? Instead of like just presenting the clues, I was like, I want to be the guy that just lies dead for an hour and trusts that everything I plan just follows through. I hid 10 clues around the house. They had like an hour to find like an escape game. But if I keep going, I did not expect I did expect, but I didn't anticipate that them being drunk and inebriated would inhibit, these are big words, their ability to solve the mystery.
Who would have thought?
Damn it. Who would have thought? I was like, damn it. Definitely, come on. So for the second one, I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that one was a cruise ship. I loved it. It was a cruise ship. I was like, mind blown. Second one, a sequel, spaceship. Ooh. And this was like double the people, double the clues, double the lore. I had like a Starview experience. First one was Shoreview, second one was Starview. That was great. You guys were both in it, man. Man, we had this one was the sheriff.
This guy was the bad guy.
Yeah. And then he had the bad guy right there.
Me?
Right there. Right here. That motherfucker. On the other side.
Come on.
God. It was insane. But then, oh my God. This third one, I knew I had to make it good. So I anticipated. Second one was good. But then, it was too spread out. It wasn't linear. Everyone was just like literally an open world and everything. So this third one, I had to like make it. I had to rewrite 10 months of rewriting a story. I had to make it good. This is like Stranger Things season 3. It has to be good. So I made it shorter, made the clues more coherent, had a linear story, and then like it was perfect. I really hope you guys liked it and everything.
It was, yeah, it was good. I don't want to say anything because if someone's just listening to this, they're not gonna have any idea what's going on. Matt, could you explain what happened there?
I'll describe
Could
it.
you-
I'll describe it.
Damn.
Kevin was in a very, very detailed dialogue of a murder mystery party, and then to catch his breath, he lifted his Seiju bottle up, and on the bottom was a post-it note that said "Free Hong Kong."
You
And we're banned. Anyways,
Oh man, that was so unexpected. That just oh my gosh. Gosh, another clue we missed.
so like, how you make it sound like it is just something natural to come about, like planning these mystery parties, and you make it seem simple, almost pretty simple to like go about and do. And for the ones that I've been at, they seem like very well thought out, very well planned. And I guess my question is like, how long does it normally take, or like, how do you go about like doing it? Because it seems like it's you make it sound like it's very simple, and as I've said, they seem very like well thought out, and they're fun to be a part of. So for you, does it come off as like something like easy, like where the creativity just kind of flows and you just get in the groove, and it is as simple as you say?
It depends. It's like if something it's really admire doing it. How I can explain it is like the same way. If you want to like, okay, let's say, damn, I know how to explain it. Let's say you want to make money. If this helps, like let's say this was like a whole money making thing, and then if you want to like get a job like washing people's cars or mowing people's lawn, I'd be like, no, dude, no time to make this money and everything. So you gotta like think of something that's like it only takes like minutes in a day to like do. And like this, like I gave like minutes at a time. I gave like hours in a day. Like for example, if like maybe you just want to like grow vegetables in your garden, that will only take like minutes, like water and everything. It's like an investment. Like it's not like you're giving hours for money in exchange. You're just giving hours for future investment. So I just put this because I love you guys and I want to like make a, you know. Does that make sense? Holy shit!
Yeah. No, it does. It does. So like the way, if I can paraphrase as well, it's like, it's focusing the time on a single thing, and growing it over time. So it's not like you don't think of the time you spent on any of these things as, oh man, it was like 100 hours. It was like 1 hour bits, 5, 10 minute, 15-minute bits,
right.
but every time it was just always allocated to the same thing. So then you knew it would grow into something like a plant or a farm or anything. It's the same concept. You just focus that time. You really dedicated it to one thing, which is crazy. I think why it resonates with me for those, like just context, is because Kevin came to Chicago, I don't know, a month ago, and he was like visiting for vacation. He like visited me for vacation. You can actually see on my whiteboard notes. Kevin used my whiteboard while he was here in Chicago to plan the murder mystery.
Oh my goodness!
And it was crazy because he's like on vacation, but then 5 minutes or 15 minutes when maybe I was like sending an email or working, he was allocating time to it. And it's like that stuff like that you can see the evolution of the journey, which is really cool.
Like I made that coded and cryptic too.
Yeah, fucking A. I was like, I stared at this thing the whole night. I was like, I'm gonna figure this fucking.
Damn. And you were want to make it worth it, dude. Like you actually flew down here for like a day just to do it.
It was so much fun. Those things are so much fun.
So it's kind of like a branch off of that. I know, like in today's kind of like world, people expect instant gratification, right? Where they expect like, let me invest in something, let me put money towards something, let me just buy a product so I get it right away. Let me just Amazon Prime this real quick. But like you said with the murder mystery parties, it's more of willing to invest in something over time for a larger payoff. Do you feel like you can kind of relate to that in like your general view of life, where you kind of prefer, like, do you prefer that? I guess like my question would be, what do you think gives you the better satisfaction? Having small bits of instant gratification, or investing in a long time for just the one large moment of aha, or relief, I would say.
Dude, you're right. That's good. That's really good. Because instant gratification, we're all going for that and everything. We all just want it easy and fast. But it's like, in terms of relationships too, you just want like something that will grow, that means something more in the long term. And if it took more time to get, then it was more worth it to get. Like, friggin' A, like, I could just eat a potato raw, or I could cook that potato, boil that potato, put that in the oven, wear my apron doing it, and it's just be more meaningful.
And I think if I can chime in, the way I think about it, at least more recently, was like I feel like when you really care about a project or something that you're working on, those small windows that you work on it are instant gratification. But you might not earn it from someone else, but it almost becomes self-sufficient. So like when you complete a phase or a portion of a project, you feel proud of it, which is really cool.
Damn.
And then you still get the payout at the end. I think that's the way.
It's like a mix of both, where you have the small bits of instant gratification for finishing, step 1 of the project, step 2, step 3, and then it culminates into one, and then you're like, this is my baby.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Like eating an egg now, or like letting the egg hatch into more eggs. I mean, more chicken.
I was like, is that how eggs work?
Russian doll.
I believed it. You're the one with the apron with chickons on it. So I was like, okay, this guy knows the chickens. He knows what he's talking about.
I don't know my chickens. I'm a fraud. I'm a fraud. Yeah.
But that's how I feel about like the journey. Is if you I think when you found your passion or something that you care about, you get that instant gratification. I think it's an indicator as well that maybe you haven't found exactly what you're looking for if you're not getting that instant gratification or those small bites of gratification.
Yeah.
Because I think when you're onto something, like you're onto something. You can feel the growth and you want to keep pursuing it.
God, you're right.
But as a spin-off to that, there are times where obviously your path to whatever your goal is, I mean, it's not always going to be like easy going. Sometimes you're going to run into a briar patch and get stuck and get cut and get hurt. So, like, obviously when you see things going well, it's easy to keep building up and get to that end goal. If you run to a rough spot, like, should you just like drop it? Like, like where it's just like, oh, this doesn't feel good anymore. Like, is it better for you to just kind of like drop it and move on to the next project?
Ooh.
Or I guess my question is more of, when do you know when to kind of, I mean, I don't know a better way to say it. When do you know when to give up on a project and move on to something else? Because I feel like that's a hard line to really define, right?
Yeah, that's also true. Because, like, you just want to try things out if it works or not. And if it doesn't work, then, yeah, you move on to the next one. But then, contradictory, it's like, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And then, if you're going to fall off that horse, you get the fuck back on it. Damn. It's one of those like proverbs that just withstood the test of time.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize because it's not like an easy question. It's very like it depends on
Yeah, how do you know,
the
like,
goal,
when it's
right?
not for you?
it depends on like the goal and how. I tend to say this a lot, but it just comes down to how bad do you want it. And like you said, Kevin, like, you know, when you start something, you're not always going to excel at it. You're not always going to be great at, let's just say, starting a new hobby, starting a new skill. So sometimes it takes time for you to develop that and then become good. And then you see that you're good, and then it becomes easier to get to your goal, right?
Damn.
So it all depends on like how strong your drive is, because you can see it too. When people are playing games, you can see like how high their ceiling is, and then you kind of question like, why do you keep playing? Why do you keep doing this? Because you know you're not going to get any better.
Mm-hmm.
And then that just goes back to what I said. It's just how bad do you want it? How much do you enjoy playing this game? Even though you know your cap's here and like you're versing people like at the high level, you know?
Dude. Okay, I got something to say. Can we transition?
Oh, no,
that makes sense.
Go for it.
That totally works. How I thought it was like when we used to play this game, it's called Overwatch, and then in the beginning, I had no map sense, I had no game sense, game mechanics and all. And I'm playing Hanzo. Hanzo's like the bow and arrow guy, and I remember when Matt was like saying like, you know, if you know like Hanzo's only good to a team if you know how to play him, you know? Like, Hanzo doesn't contribute unless, like, you know, you can contribute with Hanzo. So I never played Hanzo. I never did. You know? I never did. And then I'm like, man, fuck. Then eventually, throughout time, I was like, man, fuck. I let that stop me. I let that stop me from playing Hanzo. I didn't even touch the dude. But then I'm like, I'm never gonna fucking learn this dude unless I just fucking play him. So I played him. And then slowly but surely, to play the games to come. And then I fucking like get headshots and do it, and like then I fucking play this dude. He's my DPS of choice. And it really is just like, how bad do you want it? That you just get it, and you don't let the naysayers say nay. Make them say yay.
Amen. There you go. And I will say yay today. We played Overwatch today, and Kevin popped off with Hanzo.
Oh baby!
He popped off. I was like, holy, I remember even saying, I was like, Kevin, you popped off right now. He headshot 2 people, and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh god! It's like,
It's funny because
fuck the enemy Hanzo.
I can remember saying that because that is how Hanzo is, but it's exact. God, it's so relevant. It's exactly.
Yeah.
If you like wanted it, and you did, and now look where you are now. It's so cool to see the growth.
Chunk. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's growth. Damn.
So for you guys in general, just to switch topics again, what motivates you more, positive reinforcement or negative reinforcement? So, for example, the example of like you playing Hanzo, Kevin, Matt told you, you know, Hanzo's only good in specific situations, and you know, if you don't know how to play him, he's probably not going to be good. But that sort of negative response is sort of what drove you to be like, because he said that, you know, if I'm not a good Hanzo, don't play Hanzo. That negative response drove you to play more Hanzo, get good at him, and then show, basically almost out of spite, show Matt, oh, I'm a good Hanzo, I know what I'm doing. So do you think that works? The negative works as a better driver, like for you guys personally? Do you feel like the negative is a better driver than positive reinforcement, or the other way?
I think it's not black and white.
Yeah,
I think it depends on where you are. That'll define the better reinforcement. So let's say the opposite, right? And I guess, truth be told, I guess either way it would have helped. Let's say I gave Kevin positive reinforcement with Hanzo. And I was like, dude, your Hanzo's like, you can get better at Hanzo. Or I was like, yo, Kevin, really good stuff at Hanzo. I don't know. I kind of feel like it would have had a negative effect on.
Yeah.
Compared to this one.
I would stop
He was
training.
like, yo, I'm sick at Hanzo. I'll only pull him out when I need to.
Yeah.
And then you like lose the games in the clutch moments.
Fuck.
Yeah.
What's that happen?
And then like now I feel like it changes though, because now that he's at a really good spot at Hanzo, if I try to discourage him from playing, it's not gonna do anything. But if I reinforce it, he'll play more Hanzo, and it compounds even more so.
Damn, that's interesting. That's true.
So I think so much of it depends on the state, and I think it depends on the person as well. I think there's a lot of factors to it.
Yeah, because it's not like you're completely just flaming, right? Like it wasn't like you're being 100% negative. Like, why the hell are you playing this hero? This hero's garbage. Just uninstall.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean, like the usual kind of like let me just destroy all your hopes, kind of thing, right? It wasn't what you said wasn't positive, but it wasn't like I said, it wasn't like you're just completely flaming him. You're like, don't ever. If you're gonna play Hanzo, I'm not gonna play with you. Like, you know what I mean?
Damn.
So it's almost just like it. It was a weird like, it's a positive negative.
But that's true. The negative is also, you should also wouldn't dwell on it. Like, don't dwell on like the insults, but like, remember the compliments. And I say that because one time I used to always donate plasma, like donate bioplasma. But then on Wednesdays you get five. It's called Wacky Wednesdays. You get $5 extra if you wear like a funny outfit or something like embarrassing. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. I'm gonna wear like all these different outfits, like because I had a whole bunch of masks when we lived together. I used those because my logic was that the people that enjoy it will say something like, "Oh man, I love that." The people who don't won't say shit. And they don't. They'll just give you like the glance, like the weird stares, but ultimately, it's none of your concern, and you get $5 extra. Just
That's
wearing
true.
stuff.
That's true.
That's such a cool mentality, though, because it makes complete sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And one person saying something like, "Oh my god, that mask is hilarious," it completely makes your day.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it worth it, right? It makes their day too.
Yeah, everybody wins.
Damn. Everybody wins. Don't be afraid to be goofy.
That's true. If it's you, don't be afraid to be you.
That is so true. So we've touched on Overwatch a little bit,
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
and you've conquered the Hanzo. I want to talk about other hardships in your life that you've conquered, Kevin. So I know, like, you've gone through cancer. That was so crazy. I mean, it's still crazy. Good. Can you talk a little bit about that? Really, like, I want to think about what the positive. Let's start with the positive. Like, what do you think you learned the most from it so far?
Learn the most? Damn, it's so interesting. Well, what I learned the most, yeah, because I was diagnosed with cancer. But what I learned the most was definitely mortality. That like every moment is not only fleeting, but it's only on the here and now. You can't wait for perfect moments. Perfect moments definitely do not exist. And if you wait for them, then you lose out on what's happening now, which is the moment that's happening now. And that's the only way you can create moments that would end up being part of your history, part of your past, part of your memories. That's where you gotta like live it up and enjoy it. Come to terms with like that. I was trying to find out for this whole thing, whole ordeal, if like God existed or not. And then here I am. It's all about mentality too, like how you put before. I was like saying like, oh man, like like I was face to face with death. Like I stared into the death and everything. Like I saw my own. And then one person talked to me and was like, you're 28 years old. You have something that no one else your age has, and that is that you look into the eyes of God and you realize the truth of life. And I was like, damn. To think of like God and death as the same thing, it's crazy. And it made me realize and wonder that like God is whoever you want to believe in, but more so it's like, yeah, like life is moving, and to quote Ferris Bueller, like if you don't like stop and just breathe and like look around, you're gonna miss.
Dang, that's awesome.
Yeah, let me sink in for a second.
Appreciate the present.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah.
That's super important. I feel like that's something that is definitely overlooked where people have their eyes set out on like the future or the past, and they don't worry about just living in the now, because you have the now. So just live it up and enjoy that now, because for all you know, you may not have tomorrow. Right?
Yeah. Like, have you ever been like sick, like with a cough, and you find it so hard to imagine, like, what was it like without this cough?
Yes.
You fucking miss it. You're like, I took that shit for granted, motherfucker. Ugh.
And then when you get rid of the cough, it just disappears. Like, it doesn't, like, I feel like you have it and then it's just gone, and then you don't even remember when it stopped.
No, you don't.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh. But
So I have another question.
oh
And
yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's cool because it ties to what we talked about earlier about how do you push yourself when things get tough. So what I want to ask is, like, what were the things that got you over the hard times? What were some of the things that stuck with you that helped push you to keep pushing forward?
Well, how I say, like, what helped beat cancer was basically like, definitely have a positive mentality,
Mm.
a good support of friends and family,
Mm.
and hella good chemo. Chemo is, it sucks. It's
science.
look,
Super good science, man.
it's good science, you know. Like, chemo was definitely the realistic part of it. Like, you know, like, thoughts and prayers is great, but like, chemo realistically was what fucking did it. And it sucks too, because everyone thinks like, oh, you're gonna like have this fight, you know, you're gonna have this battle with cancer. Oh, you're gonna, like, you know, you're strong and everything. It's like warrior mentalities. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I ain't trying to be a fighter, man. Like, I'm just trying to lie in bed and like live. Oh my god, the cancer. I was like prepared for, like, okay, mentality. I'm gonna beat this cancer. Then the chemo comes in. Cancer doesn't kill you. It's the chemo that has killed so many people. So many people's hearts give out, can't take it and everything.
Okay.
Like, even me, like, it puts me in like the worst kind of spots. But like, and you, damn, it's not the fucking Sith. It's the damn, like, you know, like the stormtroopers, like all that shit. Like, it's the Federation. Who's the real enemy? You don't know that shit. Like, but that's, you have to divert your attention. And but then it's not only like that I make cancer my bitch, but it's like I'm making my I live with it, you know. Same with the chemo, like, I live with it. Like, I own it. And once you own it, then it's just like a lifestyle and everything. It's just a habit. It's like, you know, I take my chemo every morning, my pill, and just bygones for bygones, you know. But
Did it actually, like, did you feel it affect your mood?
oh, completely, you know.
Yeah.
I went down. It really affects your mental health, you know,
Yeah.
completely. You definitely go through the stages of grief too.
Mm.
Like, you know, I definitely wanted to not be like alive anymore, because you feel like death is just easier than all the pain.
Right.
It just puts you in a bad spot.
Mm.
But overcoming it, like, this is, you know, I overcame it. I overcome it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's constant struggle. You know, but damn, I don't know. It's good. I'm glad. You know, I'm glad everyone's like in my side of the court, like watching me beat this, and I'll beat this, and you know, it's rewoken my life too.
Mm.
Because I feel like beforehand, I feel like I wasn't really going anywhere. I felt like I wasn't doing anything. I was going through the motions of life. I was just eating, sleeping, going to work, walking the dogs, and like, you too. Like, one time I was walking the dogs, and I was like, I'm literally in the exact same spot I was, and that fucking shook me. Like, I was like, damn, I haven't done anything. I'm literally at the same job. I'm like, nothing has changed.
Mm.
But then this whole life-changing event happens, and then it makes you realize, like, yo, fucking gotta do something with my life, you know? I quit the job, like, that didn't make me happy. Like, anything that doesn't make me happy, I just cut it out. I just keep moving forward. Like,
Nice.
stagnancy is death. You really have to keep moving. You just have to keep moving, man.
You gotta find that spice of life, man. And if things ain't spicy, let's get
Spicy. That's your seasoning. Ooh.
a little bit more of that garlic powder up in that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, round robin. What's your spice of choice when it comes to cooking? Is it cumin? Is it paprika? What's your secret spice? I got mine.
Secret spice.
Yeah.
You can't just say like excluding salt and pepper.
I mean,
Salt and pepper.
my go-to is definitely garlic powder.
I was gonna say garlic powder.
Garlic powder is so good.
I was gonna say garlic powder.
Ooh.
Because I was trying
I
to
like
think of like in general.
Garlic powder, it's amazing. Freaking my roommate Tati, she has this like sazon, this Mexican spice. I use it all the time. Sorry, Tati, I used your spice.
Close.
Mom here. Ralph, I've been using your shampoo all the time. Head and Shoulders is the fucking best. There's no dandruff. And if you're wondering why your Head and Shoulders is low, I'm using it.
The cat's out of the bag.
Ladies and
Cat's out of the
gentlemen,
bag.
we got it.
We got him. Clipped.
Exposed.
Boom. Dang. So that's
my
crazy.
God.
That's crazy. Like I feel like that's. There are people who run into rough spots, and it's hard to find like the drive to keep going. Like you said, like there are people who find themselves like in a stagnant lifestyle, and they just don't have a way to break out of it. And it's super cool that like because of like like the whole experience of everything, you're able to kind of evolve and see like, you know, I don't have to live this stagnant lifestyle. I don't have to, you know, be stuck in this position. I can do stuff about it.
Dude, you're right. It is a fucking wake up call. Because any other scenario is like, damn, I fucking hate doing this shit. And then you literally ask yourself, like, would you rather be dead? Because that was honestly the other alternative. And then, damn. I know that quote has been recycled a whole bunch of times. Like, but did you die?
Did you die?
See, you get it. You get that reference. It's the same thing, you know? Ken Jeong, The Hangover, in case you don't know.
For people for people who haven't gone through something as like serious as like cancer, you know, if it's just someone that like, let's just say it's a friend of yours that's living like a stagnant lifestyle, and you know that they're unhappy about it. Like what would you do, or what do you do to try to get them to kind of wake up? Because in the end, right, it's up to them whether or not, you know, they want to make that change. They want to, you know, struggle a bit to get to somewhere better, right? You can only do so much. So I guess for both of you guys are welcome to answer it. What do you, if you saw someone struggling, like they're just stuck in a rut, and you know they're not happy. Like you can clearly see, you know, they're not happy. What would you do to try to help them break out of it?
My thought process is I have two things. What I actually do is I'd like to poke the bear. I like to actually, you know, ask the questions that get people to really reflect. And sometimes I don't think I ask them the right way. And I actually don't even think it's effective after going through it and trying to do it for so long. Because the reality of it, in my opinion, is that you can't do anything about it. I think if there's someone else that is stagnant, the only one that can actually make them change is themselves. I think it has to come from them. And I think it can be someone else can be a catalyst if like something big happens to their life, but ultimately the source has to be from the person itself.
It's like they have to desire change. Like it doesn't matter whatever you can say to them, they can just have it just go in one ear out the other if they don't want to change, right?
Yeah. I think there's two different things. I think there's people being unhappy, and I think there's people that want change. And I think people think of those two things as the same. And I think a lot of people aren't happy, and I don't think a lot of people want to change. And then you can see the difference. Because the people that want to change are aware of it and are doing something. But I think most people just say they're unhappy and want to change, but they don't really want to change, or they'd already be doing it. That's my philosophy.
What about you, Kevin? You have any thoughts on this?
I feel like this is a really good question because kind of like I'm trying to like take it all in from what we talked about, and it's all about like saying how bad do you want it? Like how bad do I want to help this person? And then more so like how like how do you put this? Like a person that needs help, and then I want to help them, then it has to be like either a physical or a metaphorical like slap in the face. Like they need that
Like a
show up
wake-up
in the
call?
reality. Like not wake up call. Like you got to realize you're not gonna live forever or anything, and then that would kind of wake up call. But like, gosh, wait, what was the question?
If you saw someone in a situation where they're living a stagnant lifestyle and they're not happy with it, what would you do to, be that support, be that catalyst to help them get jump started?
It's true. It depends on if they need my help or if I feel like I'm in the place to help them. Because you have to help yourself before you help others. In that sense, also.
I think you can answer it either way. I guess the way I see it is there are people who are pretty open about it, who are like okay with being like, I've been doing the same thing day in, day out, and life kind of sucks. Like you kind of hear the usual kind of complaints where it's just like, okay, this is definitely a problem, and you wouldn't be saying this if it's almost like a cry. It's like a cry for help, right? Where if they're just bringing up the same problem over and over again, at some point, I feel like with people and even with friends, they're gonna get sick of it. Someone's gonna be like, "So what are you doing? You complain about this problem the entire time. You complain about living your stagnant life. What are you doing about it?" Like even that is kind of like a catalyst, right? Because they're the people who like always complain about it and bring it up, but they don't want to do anything about it. But there are other people who don't really want to talk about it, right? And you may just see it like where we're just hanging out and it seems like something's on your mind. I don't know what. It could be anything. Maybe it's just a bad day, or maybe it's something deep. So like I think it can go for either situation. Like if you felt the call to be the catalyst for someone to help someone out, what would you kind of do in that situation? Like if to make it like, I guess, more realistic. Like if I came to you and was like, man, my life sucks right now. I got this going on, and nothing's working out for me. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm at a loss. Like, like life is useless, and I know you fought cancer, and what am I doing?
And if you're willing to listen, like I would give you what helped me, and hopefully that you could take that into your own like accord for advice and stuff. But you're saying that all stuff makes me realize like there's this thing I like to say where it's like you got to take plain out of your life, and by plain just doesn't mean just like the vanilla shit and all. It really just means like take complaining out of your life and take explaining out of your life. You don't know anyone an explanation, and no one wants to hear your complaining. But like they'll love to hear like you fleshing out what bothers you and stuff. But take plain out of your life, complaining and explaining.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
Man, quote me.
Don't worry, I'll clip it. I'll clip it, and he'll be quoted from the Greenery Creamery Dreamboat himself.
All right. I'm kidding. Honestly, I wrote this 4 times, but I didn't know which one had the best handwriting.
Dang it. I thought you had 4 different meme messages, and you had to pick the best one.
That would have been good.
I only had one, because this is the best one written 4 times. I can't show it too much. It has to be obscure.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. It's like, I fucked up the G. I'll rewrite it.
Oh my gosh,
goodness.
that was the
This is
best.
too good.
That destroyed me.
I know it did. It's like, yeah, this guy's on a fucking rant right. Oh!
I had no idea. I did not see it coming. I can.
I know. I had hints when I was like, "Are you sure you're not getting banned or demonetized?"
I mean, we'll find out. We'll find out after this episode. I'll let you know a week later. If we're not live, then you'll know why.
You always said don't make racist jokes, so I'm good.
Oh my gosh. Man, it's crazy. Yeah, we're at it's 9:54 already Eastern.
Yeah, it is.
We're about closing time.
Is
That's
getting
great.
close to that time. But it was like a lot of fun talks, deep talks, which is stuff like that I really enjoy. Sorry if I was kind of breaking
I love it.
from like the casual talk and like getting into like the deep life stuff, but I enjoy just hearing people's thoughts on like living life and their thoughts on life in general, because I think it's something that I know, Matt, you kind of touched on it a bit, where it's something that isn't addressed enough, but it's something that should be addressed, right? Like it's like you don't talk about it until someone brings it up. And it's cool to see, just like seeing how you, Kevin, like rose up from, you know, something as tough as like fighting cancer, and it was like your wake up call to, you know, really live in the moment, live your life, and, you know, do what you can to, you know, be as happy as you can be. And I think a lot of people don't get that message without a wake up call. And hopefully, like, people out there don't have to have something as drastic as, you know, getting cancer and having to go, you know, through that. But hopefully it could be something as simple as just, you know, casually listening to this podcast and hearing us talk about, you know, philosophies on life and trying to be more positive about things and just doing what you can to live life. Really live life.
Ooh, on the cancer thing, for the good news is that I'm expecting a call within the next week. My cancer doctor, because I took a blood test for them to find out if I've achieved a remission or not. I'm supposed to find out within this next week.
Ooh, nice.
It's exciting news. Like, I don't fucking know, you know?
Yeah. That's
I mean,
super
yeah.
exciting.
For sure.
Dude, I'm
Cross
living a
your fingers.
miracle.
Hope for the best, man. And best of luck.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, man. Oh, thanks,
Even
man.
though it's not gonna be much, but you know.
I'm putting it in my pocket.
Received.
That will help pay for chemo.
Fuck.
Do you have a GoFundMe?
copay?
Can we Venmo you?
Right? God damn.
Well, thank you, Kevin, so much for being part of our podcast. Thank you for sharing your stories, the lessons. Everything about this was like so much fun. So we
It
really
was.
appreciate you coming on.
Mhm.
Especially on a day like today. I know you're pretty busy today. So
No, it's my day off.
I really
Okay.
appreciate you being on. Before we close out, we always ask our guests on the podcast if they could see someone on the show, who would you love to see on the show?
Who would I love to see?
Yeah.
The first person that popped in mind. David Galindo. Has he been on already?
He has not, but I didn't want to reveal this. I have been in talks with the man, the myth. He's not the legend, but the man, the myth, David Galindo.
Yeah.
I have been in talks with him, and I kind of may have him booked for a future date. So,
Oh, Oilers, dang.
well, we'll see. We'll see if
It was my
everything
first, it was my
goes to
first
plan.
thinking. Yeah.
That's the best. That's the best.
Wow.
Cool. That's good to
Nice.
hear. But
Any
as
other
our
questions,
usual closing statements, just some last minute shout outs. Thanks for all you guys who are tuning in, watching live. Thanks if you're watching this on YouTube. Hopefully, maybe in the future, listening to this on Spotify, wherever you may be. Just watching, tuning in definitely means a lot. So thank you guys for supporting the podcast. If you want to catch us live, you can always check us out Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/PirateLolo. We're live week to week, staying strong at it, so you can always catch us there. If you want to catch us on YouTube, if you don't have time to catch us live, you can catch us at AlmostAwesomePros on YouTube. You can find us there. We also have an Instagram, AlmostAwesome_IG. For some reason, I feel like I forget it, but it's that simple. But AlmostAwesome_IG. We post little bits of content, little quotes that our good friends have said, and just cool things to help you get started on your day. But other than that, that's about all I got from my end. Matt, Kevin, do you guys have any shout-outs to give before we start closing up shop?
I'm good.
Either one.
I'm ready to give the mic to Kevin. He's good.
Oh man. Okay, this is like my 1 minute thing.
Oh, not yet. But do you have any
oh,
shout-outs that
I
you wanna give out, or
Shoutouts?
places people can reach you, your GoFundMe
So I thank
page?
God for this victory, for this win. Could have done it without him and everything. I know Floyd Mayweather was a tough battle fight. No, I thank God. Or I thank you guys. Shout out to everyone, my family, my friends. You know, living and dead, near and far. I appreciate for you guys all making me be the person I am.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it is going to be that time. As is tradition with our Almost Awesome podcast, we give the last closing statement to our guests. We give you a minute to close up shop. Feel free to use that minute however you wish. Some people use it as a TLDR, a summary of sorts. You can even talk about just what you pulled away from this deep talk. But the floor will be yours. Matt, do you have the timer ready?
We're ready.
Oh,
I'll
and
count you down, Kevin.
FYI, after that minute segment, stream is done.
Oh shit!
So,
It's truly done.
We just close it. So
Oh, man.
I'll do a 3, 2, 1, go, and then the floor is yours for 1 minute.
Damn. Anything I want to say? 1 minute. I didn't even think about this. I have to be. Right.
Stuff,
Do you
man.
think? Do you think?
stuff, man. But
All right.
you
Oh
got
my God, I'm gonna spend like 10 seconds of it preparing.
All right.
You can start it. You can start it.
All right. Here we go.
Fuck, here it
3,
comes.
2,
It has to be like
One.
impulsive and everything.
go.
Damn. Really do your social justice. That thing was not a joke. You know, marijuana is good. You know, do whatever makes you happy. That's amazing too. You know, drink with your friends. Like, take time to stop and look at the flowers and all. And like, look at the clouds too. Like, see the shapes you want and everything. Live your life. Keep doing well. Whether for the people, for me, like, you know, love your dogs and all. Oh, by the way, guys, I got a, what do you call it? Oh, I got a new job. I work for the circus. I circumcise elephants. Pays all right, but the tips are enormous. And cut.
all right, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.
We'll see you next week. Bye bye.